Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to start working on the list for my 1968 Karmann Ghia. That's, to me, one of the most important things about working on a project car is having a list of tasks that you need to get done to help you know what needs to be done, where you stand, and at the end of the day it helps you be able to go check off a couple things even if you had a really hard day and felt like you didn't get a lot of stuff done. So that's what I'm going to work on today. We're going to work on this list, and then we're going to work on some stuff that I need to get taken apart here because we're going to get working on some of the carburetors here pretty soon. I need to get those off today. So tag along, let's see what we get, and I'll talk you through my list here together. So first off, you got to title your list. 1968 VW Karmann Ghia. Important. And then you just start listing off obviously what you need. So I need to repair, replacement door panel, replace door skin. I need to run new fuel hard line, remove carbs, disassemble, and clean carbs. Now that I'm getting into this, I think my cardboard may not be tall enough, but we'll see how we go. Rewire fuel pump with relay. Need to finish stripping the car. Finish the front patch. Finish driver's rear quarter patch, body work, driver's side. Let's see, what else we gotta do? We need to figure out why my gas gauge doesn't work. Plug the breather tube. Let's see, let's diagnose. Gas gauge / float. What else we got to do? We got to build a smuggler's box rear. Need to prime the car. Sand, prime again, sand, paint the car. Oh, I also recently discovered that my CV axles on my, not my CV axles, my swing axle boots on the transmission are leaking, and then I got to figure out what's going on with the engine case. Has got a little more leaks than it used to have. I need to change the oil on that. I'll get all that on here now. Let's do oil change, replace swing axle boots, new correct spark plugs, check timing, check all fluids, which luckily in this car is really just trans fluid, oil, and brake fluid. Pretty simple. Strip and paint wheels. And I think that's a good start for now. We'll leave this list as is for now, and we'll definitely be adding to and removing things and checking things off as we go along. But like I said, this is definitely something you want to have when you work on your own project, so that way you can get a sense of accomplishment each day as you cross something off that you did, even if you got stuck somewhere else. So let's go around to the back and we'll get the carbs out, and I'll show you what you need to do for that. Alright guys, we're back here at the back of the Ghia. As you know, in Volkswagens, that's where the engines live. So back here, we'll go over a little bit of the engine before we get into carburetor removal. This is a 1970, was originally a single port intake, about a 1600cc engine. It still has a generator. So the block, obviously it's a 1970, was not original to the car. This is a 1968. So I didn't feel too terribly bad about changing anything, keeping the car non-stock, anything like that. So what I've done to this car really is everything is pretty simple, fairly straightforward, what most people usually do. I swapped out the distributor. I've got a Pertronix electronic unit in there, so I don't have to deal with any points or anything, along with their bigger coil or bigger wires and a bigger coil for them that matches all that. I've still got the generator. Externally, obviously, I've changed to dual carbs. These are a set of Cadrons that are a super popular upgrade. They're two big single barrel carburetors, one on each side, with some vintage air cleaners sourced from the Caddyshack. Really awesome company that does a lot of good work with these carburetors. I'll put a link to them down in the description below. Internally, the car has an Engel 100 cam, nothing super hot, super crazy. I did upgrade to a set of, upgrade the jugs to about a 1700cc total capacity. So the engine should have a little more pep in it, a little more displacement, should give me a nice, better ride. And then to get all the wonderful exhaust gases out, I have a vintage speed exhaust system set up here. No more heat pipes. I live in Texas. This car's not going to get driven in the winter very much. It doesn't get that cold either, so I'm not too worried about having preheat or anything. So I wasn't super worried about saving those or not. So that was a little bit more about the engine. Let's get on to removing the carburetors here. So we've got a center pole linkage here. I'm going to have to remove the linkage at both sides. I'll need an Allen key and I believe a 10mm wrench for the back. And then it's just 2 bolts holding the carburetors onto the intake manifolds, along with a hose at each carb for the fuel system. So let's get going. All right, so here we are at the carburetor. I got these carbs used at a swap meet, so they need a little bit of work. I've already decked all the carb parts, had them, so all the surfaces are flat. They mate. I've rebuilt them already once, like complete rebuild. And the carbs ran great. I had the throttle plates redone by, again, Caddyshack. They rebushed the throttle plates for me, but this car's been sitting for a really long time. I didn't really winterize it properly. So I am going to just take all the pieces apart. We're going to clean them really well, just for ease of mind, get any dried out gunk that's in there out of them. And then we will put them back together and move forward. This driver's side one, we need to fix. One of the problems with buying used carburetors at a swap meet is you get weird stuff like this. So I gotta get all this fixed, get this shaft better looking, a better shaft in there. That's just not gonna fly long term. So that'll be another project we have to do. For now, let's get the carbs off and we can move forward with getting everything ready to come apart. I need my 10, I believe. Where's this, an 8? No, it's an 8. No. it is a 10. Maybe it's a 9. Yeah, it's 10. Okay, I was right the first time. That happens a lot. So this throttle linkage is a piece that I worked up myself, because obviously getting 2 carburetors at a swap meet, they didn't come with everything they needed. So I had to work up a pretty neat Heim joint linkage on some all thread. It actually worked out really pretty well, all things considered. Does its job. We got the linkage off. We'll go ahead and get the fuel line off of here. This is all going to be redone, all these fuel lines. So I'm not too terribly worried about keeping them super nice. Go. And now just undoing the nuts here. Don't get your socket stuck. That's one. What's the best way that I got that off last time? I did that with a wrench. It's a little tight in here. When you switch over to dual carbs, you run out of a lot of space pretty quickly. So getting tools in where you need to get tools into. I think actually I had to take this one. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I have to get the actual intake off on this side, or at least loose, to get this carburetor off. So we'll do that real quick. Need to get a different socket. I'll be right back. Actually going the right direction on these as well. It's important. Well, that's wonderful. My socket wrench seems to have locked itself up. That's not good. Well, that's something I'll have to deal with later. Luckily, I have a spare. And I'll be right back. So it's frustrating, and I had a bit of a policy when I was doing work as a tech. I had a really nice set of a big set of Craftsman tools that you get, a 1/4, 3/8, and 1/2 inch with all the sockets and everything. And I was using that, and as wrenches or sockets broke or wore out, I would replace them with tool truck parts. So that was that wrench that just broke was a really nice 88 tooth Matco 1/4-inch socket. So now I have to figure out how to get a hold of somebody at Matco that I'm now not a tech to get that repaired, or see if I can send it in. So if anybody knows, that would help me a lot. Save me some time, because I really enjoyed that wrench. Nice 88 tooth makes it real easy to get in some of these fine locations to get a lot of movement on the nuts. Alright, there's the other nut. So we'll go ahead and take this whole unit off. There we go. So there's the whole unit. Solex carb, the accelerator pumps over here, and that's where it sprays out down in the throat. As you can see, big single butterfly. So we'll take this over to my dad's actually, and we're going to clean it up with his. He's got a big ultrasonic cleaner, so we're gonna take it, blow it all apart, get all the gaskets out, and dump it in the ultrasonic cleaner, get everything blown out. So now let's move on to the other side. So we got the carbs off. What you didn't see in the talking video, what you might have seen in the time lapse, is I did plug the intake runners with paper towels, and I put all the nuts on the engine back where they go, so they don't get lost. And I also don't want anything going into the intake runner, which then gets sucked into the engine, which causes a lot of damage, and then we got to pull the engine apart and rebuild it, and I don't really want to do that. So it's always a good idea to fill all that stuff up, so you're not worrying about it. Here's the difference between what the top of the carburetor should look like. Have a nice post like this. I'm not sure if this one's even, this one's not even right either. It just looks better because that's a bolt. So neither one of these is correct, and I'll be remedying that. I'm probably getting in touch with Caddyshack to remedy that. But one of the other best things for projects to keep you from just on track and make sure you know where everything is organization, organization, organization. I'm not the best with organization, but I try really hard. And one of the best things I found that helps is using tubs and bags. You bag up all the parts, all the nuts, and you label where they came from, what side they were on, and you can write a little card to yourself, anything that's like, hey, these nuts went a certain way. You can draw a picture. It's really, really helpful. Luckily, I'm just taking the complete assemblies over to my dad's place later. So I'm going to drop these in complete, just like this, into my tub. I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on top that says carburetors, 68 Ghia. Especially if you have more than one project going at a time, you need to differentiate. This is the Ghia, this is a different project, this is a different project. Because then you try to put parts on the wrong cars, and nobody wants to do that. So we'll go ahead and do that. Get these put in. They're fairly sturdy. I'm not too worried about them getting damaged in transit. Not going anywhere super crazy. And with the new shocks I put on the truck, the ride's pretty comfortable. I don't really have anything to worry about there. Let me go get some tape and my Sharpie. We'll label that up. So we got carbs. All right. So that'll pretty much do it here for the carburetors, at least. Definitely have a lot more work in the shop to do now that I've got my list done. There's going to be a lot of organization that needs to be done. So don't forget to Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Foggy Designs. I'll be posting some pictures during the week as I get stuff worked on. Thanks.